We finally got the latest trailer for Silent Hill packed with tons of interesting details. But instead of answering our curiosity, this trailer actually raises even more questions. Plus, up until now, there's still no official release date announced. So in this video, I'm going to break down all the latest information. Based on my personal prediction, I think it's unlikely the game will be released before the end of 2025. But since there's no confirmed date yet, there's also a good chance we won't get to play it until 2026. Maybe Konami and Neobards are still busy polishing the game, making sure everything's ready before they announce the date, or simply to avoid any delays. Now, let's move on to the most exciting part, the story. Silent Hill F will tell the story of Shimizu Hinako, an ordinary teenager from a fictional Japanese town called Ibisugaoka, located in the mountains. Hinako is described as someone who tries to live up to the expectations of those around her, family, friends, even her community. Because of that pressure, cheerful little Hinako has now turned into a gloomy, quiet teenager. Her life starts to change when her hometown becomes covered in thick fog filled with horrors and strange creatures. That's when Hinako's journey begins, fighting off monsters, facing her fears, and ultimately being forced to make a crucial decision. Producer Motoi Okamoto mentioned the game's core theme as beautiful yet terrifying. Things that may seem beautiful on the surface, but if you look closer, hide something truly disturbing beneath. Why is the setting in Japan? Well, according to the creators, Silent Hill has always been a mix of Western and Japanese horror elements, but recently, the Japanese side started to fade. So, they wanted to bring back that Japanese horror atmosphere while introducing something new that's never been explored in the franchise, including leaving behind the classic Silent Hill town. Still, Okamoto confirms Silent Hill F remains part of the same universe, complete with Easter eggs for longtime fans, but still approachable for new players. There's even a theory floating around that this game is a prequel to Silent Hill 1, possibly revealing the origins of Silent Hill's mythology. Fun fact, the Gaoka in Ibisugaoka literally means hill, which might have a hidden connection to the Silent Hill name itself. Now, let's speculate a little based on what we saw in the trailer. There's a line saying Hinako is already dead, followed by strange voices urging her to make a choice. So maybe we're not playing the living version of Hinako, but guiding her through a near-death or out-of-body experience. Another clue comes from the red spider lily or red dragon lily, a beautiful flower, but in Japanese culture often associated with death. Hinako being chased by this flower could symbolize her being haunted by death itself. The terror behind beauty theme that Okamoto emphasized fits perfectly here. It could be that this story follows Hinako trying to reject death, but eventually being forced to accept that there is beauty within death. Or the realization that even a seemingly beautiful life can hide something horrifying beneath. Either way, that's a heavy burden for a teenage girl. Speaking of guilt and sin, two classic Silent Hill elements, there's a possibility that Hinako played a role in her friends' deaths. In the trailer, we see a boy, possibly named Shu, affected by the Silent Hill fog, carrying a steel pipe. Maybe Hinako has to face the fact that she is the cause of the tragedy. Hinako's peeling face shown in the trailer might symbolize how she struggles to accept her true self. On top of that, bullying is confirmed as part of the story. We even see graffiti of Hinako telling her to die, while Shu's drawing looks more refined. It suggests some kind of ritual or sacrifice, with Hinako chosen as the victim. Later in the trailer, we get a glimpse of the Dark Shrine world, this game's version of the Otherworld. Akira Yamaoka himself confirmed the Fog World and Otherworld will return, but this time the Dark World has a shrine-like vibe, rather than the industrial-style Silent Hill is known for. The triangular banners, clover logos, Hinako's school uniform, even the kimonos worn by the fox-masked characters. They all resemble the halo of the sun, the cult symbol from previous games. Maybe this is a Japanese branch of the Order, or at least a similar cult with their own agenda. There's even a scene where a character's eyes glow, hinting that they're not entirely human. They're likely the ones behind the sacrificial ritual targeting Hinako. Japanese folklore influence grows even stronger with the fox statues and kitsune masks, seen in the Dark Shrine world. Interestingly, red spider lilies are often planted near graves to keep away animals like foxes, so maybe the curse of the lilies opposes the beliefs of the kitsune-worshipping cult. Hinako also seems to experience migraines whenever the world transitions, just like Alex Shepard did in Silent Hill: Homecoming. Judging from the monsters, there seems to be a strong doll or mannequin theme adding to the game's unsettling atmosphere. But according to the ESRB rating, enemy variety should be quite broad, from humanoid creatures, mutants, to mythical beasts. We also spotted a monster resembling Kuchisaki Anna, the infamous slit-mouthed yokai. Another theory suggests Hinako herself might not be entirely human anymore, possibly transformed into a doll. The Hina in her name could reference Hina dolls, traditional Japanese dolls. The game's ritual might revolve around transforming humans into dolls for some twisted purpose. This transformation explains how Hinako lost her humanity. It looks like the focus will be on melee combat. You'll be using weapons like pipes, knives, crowbars, spears, and axes, with no firearms present. This setup reminds me of Shattered Memories, which didn't have combat at all, but maybe we'll unlock bonus weapons later that match the Japanese theme, like katanas or bows and arrows. One of the most noticeable things about Silent Hill F is how artistic the world looks, but still maintains that disturbing atmosphere the franchise is known for. The thick fog, strange plants growing everywhere, and those visual effects we saw in the trailer, all of it creates a world that looks beautiful, but the longer you look, the more you feel like something's wrong. Small details like flower petals floating in the air, monsters with bodies that look like twisted plants, and environments that seem to constantly shift. All of it feels designed to amplify the game's main theme, the terror behind beauty. The same thing Okamoto and his team keep emphasizing. On top of that, Silent Hill F seems to lean heavily into psychological elements, not just jump scares or physical horror. Mental pressure, guilt, childhood trauma, all of those look like they'll play a big role in the storyline. We can already tell Hinako isn't just fighting monsters from the outside. She's battling her own fears and inner conflict. And that's always been one of Silent Hill's strongest points, the way it uses psychological horror to make players feel deeply uncomfortable, not just scared of what's popping up on screen. Another interesting thing is Neobards, the developer behind the game, is known for handling remakes and spin-off projects in the past. So there's a good chance Silent Hill F will bring a fresh gameplay approach, while still respecting the roots of the franchise. Speaking of gameplay, I personally hope they leave room for exploration and puzzle solving, not just pure combat. Silent Hill has always been about making players think, not just fight monsters. Especially with a deeper story like this, it would be a waste if it focused only on action. There's also a big chance the game will have multiple endings, just like the previous entries in the series. The choices we make throughout the game will likely impact how the story plays out, including Hinako's fate at the end. Will she finally come to terms with herself? Or will she drown in guilt and trauma? For longtime fans, a common question is whether the game connects directly to the existing Silent Hill lore. From the information we have, it looks like there will be subtle references and hidden Easter eggs, but Silent Hill's main story is designed to stand on its own, so even new players can enjoy the experience without knowing all the old lore. Still, for those who followed Silent Hill for years, discovering those hidden details, familiar symbols, or even potential cameos will definitely be satisfying. Lastly, speaking from personal hopes, I really hope this game isn't just different because of its Japanese setting. It needs to bring back the dark, unsettling, mysterious atmosphere that made Silent Hill one of the most legendary horror franchises of all time. So, what about you? Do you have your own theories or expectations for Silent Hill? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned for more updates on this game. Silent Hill F is set to release on PS5, Xbox Series XS, and PC via Steam, Epic Games Store, and Microsoft Store. Even though the release date is still uncertain, chances are the game will launch simultaneously across all platforms with no exclusivity. In fact, several retailers abroad have already opened pre-orders priced at the standard AAA game price, around $70.
あるということなのね。あなたがそれに悩める時間はもう尽きかけている。あなたは誰なの？さっきからなんで何もわからないふりをしているの？私はね、あんたをすぐに殺すこともできたんだよ。全部奪ったな。全部